Okay, so I know this is the absolute value function. So this is the absolute value function. And its equation is y is equal to the absolute value of x. So I'm going to pick for the original, I'm going to use the equation because it's not given to me on the grid. And that's because I need to recognize what type of function it is. So the absolute value of -4 is 4, of -3 is 3. We get 2, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what I want to do is I want to find, and I'm going to plot values on the transform graph. Okay, so I have a value there and there. My next one is -6, -4, and I have one there as well. And then we look, we're at -5. You can see there's one there and there. One there. Good. So if I count, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. If I look here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means in my transform graph, I don't have a point for that one. So I have -7 and -10, -6, -4, -5 and 2, -4 and 8, -3 and 2, -2, -4, -1, -10, and I don't have a value that matches up with the last one. So I'm not going to worry about that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm looking at, well, I'm adding 1, I add 1, I add 1, and I keep adding 1. And I'm only worried about these values from here to here. What's happening here? I'm going to subtract 1, subtract 1, subtract 1, add 1, add 1, add 1, and I don't need to do that one. If I look over here, I'm going to add 1, same thing. Okay, and then I look here. What did I do? I added 6, add 6, add 6, and now we're going to subtract 6, subtract 6, subtract 6. So what happened? I went from +1 as first differences to +1 as first differences, so there is no change in x. So we have -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and I'm not worried about that one. I have -1 to +6, and +1 to -6. So what happened is I multiplied by -6. So I'm going to do that. So I get, don't worry about that one, I get -18, -12, -6, 0, -6, -12, -18. Don't worry about that one. And then I look, how do I go from every value in this x column to every value in this x column? So what happens is I'm subtracting 4. Now I look, y column. Every value in this y column, how did I get every value in this y column? So what did I do? I added 8. So now remember, we're working with the absolute value function. What does that look like? So that looks like y equals -6, absolute value. I don't have a value here for x, nothing happened. So I have x plus 4, absolute value, adding 8. Okay, if I look at this next one, I don't know what the original function is other than it's exponential. So I know that this is an exponential function. So I need to find the base. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the points they've given me and I'm going to put them in as my transformed. So I have 2 and minus 6, 4 minus 4, and 6 and 2. So I'm going to look at first differences. So I'm going to add 2, I'm going to add 2. And on this, I'm going to add 2, and I'm going to add 6. To figure out the base, I figure out from 2 to 6 on the right-hand side, what did I multiply? I multiplied by 3. So my base is y is equal to 3 to the x. So that's what I can put in my original table. I'm going to graph, well not graph, but I'm going to do an original table for 3 to the x. So I'm going to do negative 4 plus 4. So 3 to the negative 4 is 1 over 81. I get 1 over 27, 1 over 9, 1 over 3, 1. And then I get 3, 9, 27, and 81. In my transform table, I only have 3 values. And it's the 3 values that are whole numbers at the first set of whole numbers. So that would mean it would match only these 3 points here. So those are the only ones I'm worried about. So I added 1, I added 1. What did I do over here? I added 2, and I added 6. So if I look, I went from 1 to 2 in first differences, which means I multiplied by 2. So I'm going to multiply this by 2, I get 0. Multiply this by 2, I get 2. Multiply this by 2, I get 4. I went from 2 and 6 to 2 and 6, so nothing happened to y. So I'm going to get 1, 3, and 9 again. And now I look, I have 0, 2, 4, and they became 2, 4, 6. So what happened was I added 2. I have 1, 3, 9. They became minus 6, minus 4, and 2. So what did I add or subtract? I subtracted 7. So now I can create my equation. So I have y equals, there's nothing that happened to y to multiply or divide, so I start with my base of 3. 1/2, because up there it's multiplied by 2. Brackets are lying to me. I have x minus 2, and then I have minus 7 on the end.